My background is in nursing, business, and I build medical facilities. Then we own, lease, or operate them. And we specialize in assisted living, memory loss, senior care. That's an interesting story. I've been a nurse forever, but I came back here. I was supposed to be retiring. I had lived in another part of the country, and both of my folks were ill. My dad died, and shortly thereafter I stayed to take care of my mother. And I started to look around, and the facility that they needed, the cares that they needed, were not available. And my mother just feared terribly the possibility of having a stroke or a coronary, any kind of care that she needed, medical care as well as housing. She couldn't maintain the house any longer. And that's when I realized the need for this. And that's exactly what I did. I took that property and I turned it into a very small facility, and it has grown since then. There was another need within the community, which was substance abuse. And the Journey Home program from St. Cloud Hospital, I think that business is about 40 years old now. It specialized, this particular facet of it, in women with their children. And we built the facility up here on Highway 10. There's only one other, and it's in New Jersey in this country. Phenomenal success. We use this particular building that we're sitting in for the intake. And they're here 30 to 45 days, or they were, and for their initial intake and treatment. Then the second building that we built was a big building, 60,000 square feet. And it's still, we had 80 a day waiting. This building was always full. For 11 years, it was full every day. And when we built the other one, this one remained full with a waiting list of 80. And the new building that we had built, Journey Home, was a little over 100 a day. We're fulfilling a community need. We're seeing a lot of parents of people that we had gone to school with, for instance, coming in. And many of them say they feel like they're coming home because they know the people that are here. The thing that I would say is, in business, and it doesn't matter what kind of business you're in, you do your projections. You do them as closely and as faithfully as you can, but you can only guess at your profit and loss projections. The strongest thing I think you can do is an excellent business plan, but make sure that it has elastic walls. You can never, it's not like a piece of pipe. It moves in and out as it evolves. And I would say the biggest thing is be sure that when you do your financing, you do not take it right to the wall. You always leave a little bit because, trust me, you're going to need it. I think as women particularly get older in business, they need to be interested and interesting, but they have a wealth of background to feed into this. And I think that so many women are afraid to step forward and put their foot out to become involved in business. It's really too bad. Women have something that men don't seem to have. They have an instinct, especially where any kind of human services are involved. Men think they're not quite sure what that is. It's called intuition. And there's a lot of reward involved, particularly. And I'm thinking right now of, I had someone come up to me in the grocery store. It's happened several times, but this one really sticks in my mind. And the fellow had been outside doing some work on the outside of the building, and he'd followed me into that grocery store. And he came up behind me, and I didn't turn around. And he said, "Are you the builder on Journey Home?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I want to thank you for my family." He said, "My wife and my 2 kids are together with me because of Journey Home. That's why we do this." Yeah. You do what you know, and be sure that you have that adequate business plan as close and as faithful to it as you can. And be sure of your financing. The percentile of business, small business, that fails the first year is in the high 90s. The last time I saw those numbers, the failure rate is far greater than the success rate, but that doesn't mean that you can't be successful. Do it right. And the one thing that I would suggest with this is the Small Business Development Center is a source of information. It's a wealth of information and help that most people don't even know exists. Take advantage of it. Take advantage.